Welcome back to another episode of Stacking Our Chips. I'm Keith, and in this episode we go back to Resorts World Catskills in Monticello, New York for some 2-5 action. I get to the poker room about 11 a.m. and there's only 2 tables open, but we get seated at 2-5 right away. We sit for about 460 and the action just starts right away. We get into hands, but I don't have all that footage for you guys. Unfortunately, I'm charging my phone, getting settled, fumbling and bumbling around, but anyway, here's that video. What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning back into my channel. I'm very excited to be playing. I took a day off from work and I'm in one of my favorite places to be in the whole wide world, at the casino playing some 2-5. Okay, so as you see, I have a marginal hand, but I'm going to raise it up to 15. I do believe I get one caller and I go to the flop heads up. Honestly, I'm not even sure what the board is, but when it gets to me, I have to c-bet. So I put out a bet of 20 and he folds. I take it down right away. So there are a number of hands very early on where I'll be c-betting on the flop and just taking it down outright. I built up my stack pretty much by doing this and creating a solid table image. Take this next hand for instance. I have Jack 9 offsuit on the button. We call a raise of 15. And on the flop, we actually take initiative and bet, and we take it down. A couple revolutions later, we're on the button again, but we have ace queen this time. I'll make it 15 to go, and we go to the flop 3 ways. It looks like it's the small blind and the undergun player. The flop comes down, and it's like ace queen 4. So we flop 2 pair, they check to me, and I c-bet for 20, and they both end up making the call. At this point, I'm trying to figure out what they might have. I'm figuring maybe some type of weak queen or some type of combination of a straight draw. The turn card doesn't help any of that. They both check, and I decide to bet 75, and they lay it down. In this next hand, we pick up ace 10 offsuit on the button. We're looking to mix it up in this hand. There's a raise ahead of us. I believe it's the middle position player in the 7th seat who makes it 20 to go. We contemplate raising it, but just end up flatting. Everyone else fold. We go to the flop heads up. The board comes queen high with the 10 on it, so we make a pair. He's going to check ahead of us, and we check back for pot control. The turn card is the 7 of diamonds. He leads out and bets for 30, and I make the call because I don't believe him. The river is the 5 of hearts. He checks, and I check behind him. There's no need to balloon this pot. We table our hand, and we are good. I did put him on an ace-king type of hand, but it turns out he had pocket 4s. This is another board where I make my standard raise to 15, get a number of callers, And when the flop comes, I see bet and everybody folds and I take it down. I mean, at this point in the session, I'm feeling like it's a heater. In my opinion, I'm doing a great job picking my spots. My VPIP is somewhat around 25%, and I just feel really confident when I'm entering hands. Not necessarily winning every hand I'm in, but when I do fold, I've missed the flop and the losses are insignificant. Okay, gentlemen, in this hand, I'm finally dealt the premium. We pick up pocket aces on the button. There is a raise in front of us of 25. For deception, I just call, and the big blind calls behind me. We go to the flop 3 ways. The flop comes queen high with 2 hearts on it. Both players check. I need to see if anyone connected with the board and give some value to myself, so I lead out for 50. All players fold. By the time action resumes, we have pocket 9s in the cutoff, and we are 3 ways to a flop. I just binked a set, and the small blind checks to the under the gun player. The under the gun player bets 20. I make the call, and the small blind folds. The turn card, I believe, hits his range, but he checks. I try to get some value from it, so I'm gonna bet 75, and he unfortunately folds. I hadn't previously been showing my hands, but I decided to show I had the goods on this one for table image and to set up future bluffs. In this hand, we wake up with ace-king offsuit. I raise to 15, only the cutoff calls, and we go to the flop heads up. We smash the flop, top pair, king kicker, and we check for deception, hoping that the player would bet, but he checks behind us, and we go to a free turn card. The turn also checks through. The river is a brick, but I gotta get some type of value, so I lead out for 30. He makes the call. I turn over my cards. The player mucks his hand, and we take down another one. In this next hand, we pick up king jack offsuit in the big blind. It's a straddled pot, so I'm looking to mix it up with this hand. But when the middle position raises it to 95, I get out of there.
95, huh?
In this hand, we pick up aces in the hijack. The under the gun player raises to 30. I'm in raise to 60. He calls. We go to the flop heads up. The flop is ace queen X. The under the gun player checks to me. I down bet to 50 and he folds. Maybe with the set I can afford to see another card. I don't know, but was I a bit too aggressive in this hand? Let me know what you think in the comments below. In this next spot, we pick up ace 10 of clubs in the big blind. There are a number of players that call behind me, and I'm thinking about potentially playing in the big hand. But when the small blind announces
70,
I put the player on aces, kings, or queens. If I hit my ace, I'm probably behind. And if I miss my ace, he's probably going to be betting. And if there's no spades or drawing cards, I'm probably not going to want to continue. So I'll just fold. In the next interesting hand, we have ace 10 and Ken, but this time in spades. We're in the hijack and raise it up to 15. When it gets back to the big blind, he's going to 3-bet and make it 45 to go. We make the call and go heads up to the flop. You know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for spades and Broadway cards. The board is extremely dry and he leads out for 75, showing massive strength. Ultimately, I decide to pick a better spot and we lay it down. Okay, gentlemen, this is one of my favorite hands of the vlog. We get pocket queens in middle position and raise it up to 20. Both the small blind and the big blind defend, and we go to a flop 3 ways. The board is 8 high with 2 clubs. The small blind elects to check. The big blind leads out for 50. I raise it up to 100. The big blind goes bananas. He raises it up to 300. I make the call. The small blind folds, and we go to a turn.
Starting to feel like a healthy pot.
The 7 of hearts comes on the turn, and I'm just trying to put him on a hand. The board is extremely low, and he's being very aggressive. He announces all in. His bet actually puts me all in. I have just under 500 at this point. I've never really been tested like this before. He's in the blind, so he could easily hit a nasty 2 pair or even a set. I really don't know. If I make the call and I'm wrong, all this hard work, chip building over the past 3 or 4 hours is going to be down the toilet. I literally take 90 seconds to make my decision. I'm not going to let you sit through all of that, but just know I was very tormented and I didn't know what to do. I call. I freaking find the stones to call. He turns over top pair from the flop, and I'm extremely relieved. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? A pair of queens is good on this board. He played his hand extremely hard, and I almost had a heart attack. The dealer counts 472, and we're in for a full double up. Maybe this was in poor taste, but I really wanted my viewers to see what that board was. I didn't mean to offend. Big Blind was probably a little salty.
Please. Oh, you mad because I'm styling on you.
Man, I just had an amazing session at Catskills just now. Played some 2-5 into the game for about 460, out for like 1475. So that's a nice piece of profit right there. Came up with my homeboy and we just like hung out for a little bit. We tried to go to the steakhouse, but I don't know what it is, man. They don't open up the restaurants until like 5:30 around here, 5:30 p.m. We got to get on the road, got to get back. So unfortunately, I can't get snaps of that, but it's okay. Y'all only care about the poker anyway. So it's all good. I hope y'all enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the fucking channel, man. Get these numbers up. Let's do this thing. I got more in store. I got a private game coming. I'm selling these SOC coins, these stacking out chip coins. If you support the channel, show me some love. Cop a coin, $15. Just let me know what you think in the comments below, man. Did you like this video? Did you like the music I put together? Did you like the action? The hand analysis is getting crisper, getting better. All right, just let me know how you feel. Follow me on IG, you know, follow me on there. Panda's doing his thing, and we got the Poker Robot. My team is ready. We coming out. We're trying to do some more tournaments, more casino runs. Yo, y'all can all get down with us. Let's meet up. Let's get a drink. Let's play. Let's do this thing, man. Let's take it to the next level. All right? More in the next video. Peace.